Beloved soul, welcome to this divine moment. I don't believe in coincidences, and if you're watching this message today, know that you've been divinely guided here. Your heart has been calling out for answers, and heaven has heard you. This message is specifically for those who have been wondering about their future spouse, about that divine connection that awaits you. Take a deep breath and center yourself, for what I'm about to share comes from a place of pure love and divine insight. Your future spouse is indeed watching you in silence. They may not be physically present in your life yet, but spiritually, energetically, their soul recognizes yours. Can you feel that gentle pull, that subtle knowing? Type "aware" in the comments if you can sense this truth resonating within you. By acknowledging this awareness, you're opening yourself to receive all that is meant for you. In the realm of divine timing, nothing is rushed, nothing is delayed. Everything unfolds exactly when it should. Your future spouse is feeling a profound sense of connection to you, even from a distance. They may not understand why certain thoughts come to them, why they feel drawn to places you've been, or why they suddenly think of things that remind them of you, someone they haven't yet met in the physical realm. This is the divine orchestration at work. They feel curiosity about you. In quiet moments when the world grows still, they wonder about the person they're destined to share their life with. They may find themselves thinking about qualities they admire, values they respect, and these thoughts are often reflections of who you are. Your future spouse feels an inexplicable pull toward the essence of your spirit. Type "receive" if you're accepting this divine connection that's forming even now, beyond physical sight. What many don't understand is that soul connections form long before physical meetings. Your future spouse feels a sense of familiarity when they encounter things related to your passions, your purposes. Perhaps they've picked up a book on a topic you love, or found themselves interested in music that speaks to your soul. These are not random occurrences. They are spiritual breadcrumbs leading you both toward each other. They feel protected when thinking about you. There's a divine covering over your future union, a sacred preparation happening for both of you. When your future spouse thinks about their life partner, even without knowing it's you specifically, they feel a sense of peace, of coming home. It's as if their soul recognizes that there is someone being prepared for them, just as you are being prepared for them. In their silent watching, they're experiencing moments of alignment. Perhaps they've been working on themselves, healing past wounds, growing into the person they need to be for this divine union. They feel motivated to improve, to expand, to become their highest self, not knowing that this growth is preparing them for you. Type "grow" in the comments if you too have felt this call to personal development recently, this divine nudge toward becoming your best self. Your future spouse feels a strange sense of timing right now. They may be experiencing a restructuring of their life, perhaps changes in their career, their living situation, or their social circles. These shifts aren't random, they're divine repositioning. The universe is moving pieces on the board, creating the perfect circumstances for your paths to cross when the time is divinely perfect. They feel anticipation, though they may not recognize it as such. There's a subtle excitement about the future, a sense that something wonderful awaits them. In quiet moments, they might find themselves smiling for no apparent reason, feeling a warmth in their heart that seems to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. This is their spirit recognizing the beauty of what's to come. their union with you. Your future spouse feels guided. They may notice they're being led down unexpected paths, making decisions that don't make logical sense, but feel right on a soul level. These divine redirections are part of the master plan, the cosmic choreography bringing you both to the perfect meeting place at the perfect time. Type guided if you too have felt this invisible hand directing your steps lately. In their silence, they feel moments of sudden inspiration about their future. Visions of a life they haven't yet lived may flash before them. A home filled with love, meaningful conversations by firelight, shared dreams and goals. These glimpses are not mere fantasies. They're prophetic insights into the life you'll build together when divine timing brings you face to face. They feel a mysterious sense of being loved, even during times of solitude. This is your energy, your prayers, your intention reaching them across the ethers. Love transcends time and space, beloved. The connection you share exists beyond physical proximity. When you send love into the universe with the faith that it will reach your future spouse, it does. They feel it as unexplained comfort, as a sense that they're not alone even when no one is physically present. Your future spouse feels drawn to certain qualities that you embody. They may find themselves suddenly appreciating characteristics they never valued before. Perhaps your kindness, your creativity, your resilience, your particular brand of humor. The divine is aligning their heart to recognize and cherish who you truly are. Type valued if you're ready to be fully seen and appreciated for your authentic self. In their silent observation, they feel challenged to rise higher. Your very existence in this world, even before meeting them, calls them to a greater standard. They may find themselves naturally moving away from situations and relationships that don't serve their highest good, feeling a pull toward integrity and authenticity that surprises even them. This is the magnetic effect of your soul on theirs, elevating, purifying, preparing. They feel synchronicities that they can't explain. Perhaps they keep encountering your name or symbols that will one day be significant to both of you. They might visit places you'll eventually share or meet people connected to you in ways neither of you yet understand. These divine winks are the universe's way of assuring them they're on the right path, the path that leads to you. Your future spouse feels moments of unexplained joy. There are times when happiness washes over them for no apparent reason, perhaps at the exact moments when you're thinking of them, sending love to this person you haven't met yet, but somehow feel connected to. Energy knows no boundaries of time or space. Your joy and their joy are already intertwined in ways neither of you fully comprehend yet. Type joy if you're willing to celebrate this connection, even before its physical manifestation. They feel a divine discontent with relationships that aren't aligned with their highest good. If they're currently in situations that don't serve their growth or their destiny with you, they feel an increasing awareness that something isn't right. This isn't about judgment or comparison, it's about divine alignment. The universe gently creates contrast, helping them recognize what isn't their true path so they can be available when your paths are meant to cross. Your future spouse feels a strengthening of their faith and spiritual awareness. Whether they follow the same spiritual path as you or a different one, there's a deepening occurring in their connection to the divine. This spiritual awakening is essential preparation for the sacred union you'll share. The strongest relationships are triangles: you, your beloved, and the divine presence that binds you together in purpose. They feel an inexplicable need to work through past wounds and traumas. Healing isn't always comfortable, but it's always necessary for wholeness. Your future spouse is being divinely guided to address areas of pain or unresolved emotion, not fully understanding that this healing work is preparation for the healthy, whole relationship they'll share with you. Type healing if you too have felt called to this inner work of restoration and renewal. In their silent watching, they feel moments of recognition when they encounter things that will eventually be significant to your shared life. Perhaps they've developed a sudden interest in a country you'll visit together, or they've discovered a passion for something that will become a cornerstone of your relationship. These seemingly random shifts in interest are divine breadcrumbs leading them toward the future that awaits you both. Your future spouse feels protected during this time of preparation. There's a divine covering over them, guarding their heart and their path. Wrong connections are being divinely redirected. Distractions are being minimized. There's a holy narrowing of their path, bringing them into closer alignment with the trajectory that will lead them to you. This same protection surrounds you, beloved soul. You are both being divinely guarded for each other. They feel a mysterious sense of hope about love, even if they've experienced disappointment in the past. There's a resilience being built in their heart, a refusal to become cynical or closed off despite whatever challenges they faced. This hope isn't naive optimism. It's divine assurance, planted within them like a seed that will blossom when you finally meet. Type hope if you choose to nurture this same divine expectation in your own heart. Your future spouse feels moments of divine preparation in practical ways too. They may feel motivated to create stability in their life, perhaps financially, professionally, or in their living situation. They might feel drawn to create space, both literally and figuratively, not fully understanding they're preparing room for you to enter their life. These practical steps are just as spiritual as the emotional and mental preparation taking place. They feel a shifting of priorities. Things that once seemed important may be losing their appeal, while values like authenticity, depth, and meaningful connection are taking precedence. This realignment of values is divine recalibration, ensuring that what they treasure most aligns with what will matter most in your relationship. The superficial falls away as the essential comes into focus. Your future spouse feels an increasing appreciation for the present moment. There's a divine paradox here. While they're being prepared for a future with you, they're also learning to fully inhabit their now. This presence isn't a contradiction to their preparation. It's an essential part of it. By learning to be fully present, they're developing the mindfulness that will allow them to truly see you when you appear in their life. Type present if you're also embracing this sacred now while holding faith for the future. They feel divinely inspired dreams that contain symbolic messages about your future connection. Not all dreams are prophetic, but the divine often speaks through this language of the subconscious. Your future spouse may wake with impressions they can't explain, symbols that will make sense once you're together, or emotions that seem to come from experiences they haven't yet had. These dreams are gentle whispers from the divine, assurances of what's to come. Your future spouse feels a strange sense of waiting for something or someone significant. There's an awareness, even if subconscious, that a major life event approaches. This waiting isn't stagnant, it's active preparation. It's the farmer who prepares the soil, plants the seeds, and tends the field with faithful expectation of the harvest to come. Their spirit recognizes that something precious is developing, even when their mind doesn't fully comprehend what it is. They feel more attuned to beauty and meaning. Small moments of grace catch their attention, a sunset that takes their breath away, a piece of music that moves them to tears, an act of kindness that restores their faith in humanity. This heightened awareness of beauty is preparation for seeing and appreciating the beauty of your soul when you meet. Type beauty if you're noticing this same divine heightening of your senses and appreciation. Your future spouse feels drawn to create, to express, to pour out what's within them. Whether through art, writing, music, building, growing, or nurturing, there's an increased desire to bring something meaningful into existence. This creative urge is connected to the divine nature of love itself. Love always creates. The same creative energy that will eventually flow into your relationship is already stirring within them, seeking expression. They feel a divine patience developing within them. Our culture rushes everything, including relationships, but your future spouse is learning the sacred art of divine timing. This patience isn't passive resignation. It's active trust in the unfolding of a greater plan. When you finally meet, this cultivated patience will be one of the gifts they bring to your relationship. The understanding that the most precious things are worth waiting for. Your future spouse feels a calling to develop themselves intellectually and in wisdom. They may feel drawn to learn, to read, to engage with ideas and perspectives that expand their understanding of the world. This mental and wisdom development isn't separate from their preparation for meeting you. It's an integral part of it. The connection you'll share will be multifaceted, engaging heart, soul, mind, and strength. Type wisdom if you felt this same call to deepen your understanding and broaden your perspective. They feel an increasing desire for authenticity in all their relationships. Surface-level connections no longer satisfy them the way they once did. There's a divine discontent with pretense, with social masks, with anything less than genuine heart connection. This growing valuation of authenticity is preparing them to recognize and appreciate the true essence of who you are when divine timing brings you together. Your future spouse feels moments of divine confidence about their worth and what they bring to a relationship. This isn't ego or arrogance. It's a healthy self-value that comes from understanding they are divinely created and purposed. Without this confidence, they might settle for connections that don't honor their worth. With it, they can enter your life ready to both give and receive love from a place of wholeness rather than need. They feel a mysterious sense of accountability for their choices and actions. There's an awareness, even if subconscious, that what they do now affects not only their future, but someone else's too. This sense of responsibility is part of their divine preparation, cultivating the character that will make them a faithful, trustworthy partner in your life. Type integrity if you value this quality and are cultivating it in your own life as well. Your future spouse feels drawn to certain places that will eventually be significant in your shared story. They might feel an unexplainable pull toward a particular city, neighborhood, or type of environment. These geographic nudges aren't random, they're divine positioning. The grand orchestrator is arranging the coordinates of your lives, bringing you both to the crossroads where your paths will divinely intersect. They feel a deepening capacity for compassion and understanding. Life's challenges, rather than hardening their heart, are softening it. creating room for greater empathy. This expansion of compassion is divine preparation for the sacred understanding you'll share. No relationship thrives without the ability to see through another's eyes and feel with another's heart. This quality is being divinely cultivated in them for you. Your future spouse feels moments of divine certainty about the kind of relationship they're called to build. This clarity isn't about superficial preferences, it's about core values and purpose. They're developing conviction about what matters most in connection, qualities like respect, honesty, growth, support, and shared purpose. These convictions are aligning with what your soul needs and offers. Type aligned if you sense this divine alignment happening in your own heart as well. They feel drawn to stories of enduring love, of partnerships that have weathered life's storms and emerged stronger. Whether through books, films, or witnessing relationships around them, they're collecting mental and emotional images of what lasting love looks like in practice. These examples aren't setting unrealistic expectations. They're providing divine blueprints for the relationship you'll build together. Your future spouse feels an increasing awareness of time's preciousness. This isn't anxiety about time passing. It's sacred appreciation for each moment. They're learning not to rush through days, but to extract the meaning from them, to be fully present rather than always looking ahead or behind. This mindfulness is divine preparation for truly seeing and valuing you when you enter their life. They feel divinely inspired questions arising in their mind and heart. Questions about purpose, about what kind of life they want to create, about what truly matters in the end. These questions aren't random philosophical musings. They're part of the divine curriculum, preparing them for partnership with you. The answers they're discovering are aligning them with the shared purpose you'll eventually pursue together. Type purpose if you too have been contemplating these deeper questions of meaning and direction. Your future spouse feels moments of divine longing, not merely for romantic companionship, but for soul connection. This longing isn't the unhealthy attachment or neediness that characterizes immature relationships. It's the sacred recognition that humans are created for connection. It's the divine echo of the truth that it is not good for person to be alone. This holy longing is preparing their heart to recognize you when you appear. They feel a mysterious sense of becoming more fully themselves. There's a divine paradox in preparation for sacred partnership. Becoming more whole as an individual creates capacity for deeper union with another. Your future spouse is experiencing this strengthening of their unique identity, this clarification of who they truly are. When you meet, they won't be seeking you to complete them, but to complement the wholeness they've cultivated. Your future spouse feels guided to establish healthy boundaries in all their relationships. This boundary work isn't creating walls, it's defining sacred space. It's learning what to allow and what to lovingly redirect. These boundaries are divine protection for the relationship you'll share, ensuring it begins from a place of health and clarity rather than confusion or compromise. Type protected if you too have felt called to this important work of establishing loving boundaries. They feel an expanding capacity to hold seemingly contradictory truths simultaneously: strength and tenderness, confidence and humility, speaking truth and showing grace. This emotional and spiritual maturity doesn't develop overnight. It's being cultivated through their life experiences. The divine is developing this capacity for nuance because the deepest relationships require this ability to hold complexity with wisdom and love. Your future spouse feels a divine invitation to release control and embrace trust. Perhaps they've been someone who needed to manage every detail, to know the outcome before beginning the journey. The divine is gently loosening this grip, teaching them the sacred art of trusting a process they can't fully see or understand. This growing capacity for trust is essential preparation for the leap of faith that all true love requires. They feel moments of divine peace about the timing of their life. There may have been seasons when they questioned why certain relationships didn't work out, or why they haven't yet met the one. But increasingly, they're sensing a rightness to the timeline of their life, an understanding that divine delays are not denials. This piece about timing is preparing them to recognize the perfection of when and how you'll enter each other's lives. Type timing if you too are choosing to trust the divine orchestration of your life seasons. Your future spouse feels an increasing gratitude for their journey, even the difficult parts. They're beginning to see how every experience, both pleasant and painful, has shaped them and prepared them for what's ahead. This gratitude isn't naive positivity. It's profound recognition of how even challenges can be transformed into growth when viewed through eyes of faith. This thankful heart is one of the gifts they're preparing to bring into your relationship. They feel a mysterious sense of being seen and known by the divine, even when they feel misunderstood by others. This deep experience of being fully known, yet fully loved, is expanding their capacity to eventually offer this same sacred seeing to you. The divine knows that we can only offer to others what we've first received ourselves. This experience of being divinely known is preparing them to truly know you, beyond surface appearances, beyond first impressions, beyond masks or pretenses. Your future spouse feels drawn toward wholeness in every dimension: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. They may be making choices that honor their body's need for care, their mind's need for growth, their heart's need for authentic expression, their spirit's need for connection with the divine. This pursuit of integrated health isn't vanity or self-absorption. It's sacred stewardship of the vessel that will one day love and cherish you. Type wholeness if you too are honoring this call to multidimensional health and integration. They feel an expanding capacity for joy, not the fleeting happiness that depends on circumstances, but the deeper wellspring that flows from within. This joy doesn't deny life's difficulties, it transcends them. The divine is cultivating this quality because joy is the atmosphere in which love thrives. When you meet, they'll bring this capacity for delight into your relationship, creating a foundation that can weather life's inevitable storms without losing its essential gladness. Your future spouse feels moments of divine certainty that they are exactly where they need to be right now. Even if parts of their life feel unfinished or in process, there's an underlying assurance that they're on the right path. This certainty doesn't come from having everything figured out. It comes from trusting the one who sees the end from the beginning. This faith in divine positioning is preparing them to recognize when your paths are divinely aligned to intersect. They feel a mysterious sense of being prepared for a significant relationship, even if they don't consciously recognize it as such. There's a divine curriculum unfolding in their life, developing the qualities, perspectives, and capacities they'll need to build a lasting, meaningful connection with you. Nothing in their journey is wasted. Every experience is part of this sacred preparation. Type prepared if you sense this same divine development happening within your own heart and life. Your future spouse feels drawn toward generosity of spirit, moving beyond self-focus to consider how they can contribute to others' well-being. This generosity isn't about depleting themselves. It's about discovering the divine truth that we find our lives by giving them away. This expanding heart capacity is preparation for the sacred giving and receiving that characterizes true partnership. The dance of generosity that you'll share together. They feel a growing appreciation for the beauty of differences. Rather than seeking someone exactly like themselves, they're developing the capacity to value perspectives and approaches unlike their own. This appreciation for diversity isn't abandoning their core values. It's recognizing that differences can be complementary rather than threatening. This openness is divine preparation for the unique qualities you'll bring into their life. Your future spouse feels moments of divine clarity about what love truly is and isn't. Our culture offers so many counterfeits, so many distortions of genuine love. But your future spouse is being divinely educated in love's true nature: patient, kind, protective, trusting, hopeful, persevering. This understanding isn't merely intellectual, it's being worked into the fabric of their character. Type genuine if you value this authentic understanding of love above superficial imitations. They feel a mysterious sense of being stretched beyond their previous limitations. Perhaps they're facing challenges that require them to develop new strengths, new perspectives, new capacities. This stretching isn't punishment, it's divine preparation. The relationship you'll share will call both of you to grow beyond what you could have imagined. The stretching happening now is creating capacity for that future expansion together. Your future spouse feels drawn to create meaningful traditions and rituals in their life. These might be simple practices: a morning reflection time, a weekly Sabbath rest, seasonal celebrations that mark time's passage. This attention to sacred rhythm is divine preparation for the shared practices you'll eventually develop together, the meaningful traditions that will form the framework of your life. As a couple and perhaps as a family, they feel an increasing sensitivity to beauty, meaning, and purpose in everyday moments. There's a divine awakening happening within them, an ability to see the sacred in the ordinary, to find meaning in simple experiences. This awakening isn't about chasing spiritual highs, it's about recognizing the holiness already present in each day. This sensitivity is preparing them to see and celebrate the unique beauty you'll bring into their life. Type awakened if you too have felt this heightened awareness of beauty in the seemingly mundane. Your future spouse feels moments of divine insight about patterns in their past relationships. These aren't judgmental dissections, but compassionate recognitions, seeing what they've learned, how they've grown, what they need to continue developing. This self-awareness isn't creating baggage, it's transmuting experience into wisdom. The insights they're gaining now will serve the health and depth of the relationship you'll share. They feel a mysterious sense of being divinely matched to someone they haven't yet met. This isn't idle fantasy, it's spiritual recognition. There may be moments when they sense a presence, a connection beyond physical reality, your spirit reaching toward theirs across time and space. These moments aren't imagination, they're glimpses of the divine orchestration already at work, already connecting your lives on a level beyond physical proximity. Your future spouse feels drawn to develop their communication skills, not just speaking clearly, but listening deeply. They're learning the sacred art of presence, of attending fully to another's words, rather than simply waiting for their turn to speak. This development isn't random. It's divine preparation for the soul-level conversations you'll share, the vulnerable exchanges that will build the bridge between your separate lives into one shared journey. Type heard if you value this quality of deep listening in relationships. They feel an expanding capacity for commitment, not the shallow promises that depend on feelings, but the deeper covenant that chooses faithfulness regardless of emotions' fluctuations. This capacity isn't built overnight. It's developed through small daily choices of integrity and follow-through. The divine is cultivating this quality because lasting love requires this foundation of trustworthy commitment. Your future spouse feels moments of divine curiosity about their future partner. This isn't anxious questioning, but sacred wondering. What kind of person will share their life? What dreams and purposes will they pursue together? This curiosity isn't creating rigid expectations. It's opening their heart to possibilities they might not have considered. It's preparing them to truly see you, not a projection of their assumptions, but the wonderfully complex person you truly are. They feel a mysterious sense of being called to something greater than themselves, a purpose that extends beyond personal fulfillment to meaningful contribution. This calling isn't separate from their preparation for partnership with you. It's integrally connected. The divine is aligning your purposes so that together you'll build something more significant than either could create alone. This sense of calling is creating the sacred common ground where your lives will eventually unite. Type called if you too sense this divine purpose unfolding in your life. Your future spouse feels drawn toward emotional intelligence and maturity. They're developing the capacity to recognize their feelings without being controlled by them, to respond rather than react, to navigate conflict with wisdom rather than avoidance or aggression. This emotional development isn't happening by chance. It's divine preparation for the intimate dance of partnership, where emotional wisdom creates space for both vulnerability and safety. They feel an increasing appreciation for the uniqueness of each person's journey. Rather than comparing themselves to others or measuring their life against external timelines, they're recognizing the sacred individuality of each life path. This appreciation isn't lowering their standards. It's deepening their understanding of divine design. This perspective is preparing them to recognize and honor the unique journey that has shaped you into the person they'll fall in love with. Your future spouse feels moments of divine contentment with their single season. This contentment isn't resignation. It's recognition of the value and purpose in every life stage. They're learning that partnership isn't the solution to discontentment, but the extension of an already meaningful life. This healthy perspective is divine preparation for entering relationship from wholeness rather than lack, from choice rather than need. Type content if you too are finding purpose and meaning in your current season while remaining open to what's ahead. They feel a mysterious sense of being divinely held in times of uncertainty. When questions arise about their future, when doubts surface about whether they'll find lasting love, there's a sacred assurance that comes, not from having all the answers, but from trusting the one who does. This experience of being divinely sustained through uncertainty is preparing them for the faith journey of relationship, where much must be discovered through living it rather than knowing it in advance. Your future spouse feels drawn toward creating beauty and order in their environment. This might manifest as caring for their living space, developing aesthetics that reflect their values, or bringing organization to areas of chaos. This attention to their surroundings isn't superficial, it's an extension of inner development. The divine is preparing them to create sacred space, first within themselves and their own life, eventually within the shared life you'll build together. They feel an expanding capacity for healthy independence. Rather than seeking someone to complete them or resolve their internal struggles, they're developing self-responsibility and emotional maturity. This independence isn't isolation or self-sufficiency. It's the healthy autonomy that makes interdependence possible. The divine is cultivating this quality because the strongest relationships form between two whole individuals who choose connection rather than cling from desperation. Type whole if you value this quality of healthy selfhood as the foundation for genuine partnership. Your future spouse feels moments of divine confirmation about the kind of partnership they're being prepared for. These confirmations might come through dreams, through words that resonate deeply, through repeated themes they encounter. These aren't random coincidences. They're sacred breadcrumbs leading them toward recognition when they finally meet you. The divine is aligning their expectations with the reality of what you'll share together. They feel a mysterious sense of being divinely protected from connections that would ultimately harm them or distract them from their true path. This protection isn't punishment or limitation, it's sacred guidance. What appears as no is actually making way for the ultimate yes of finding you at the divinely appointed time. This experience of being divinely directed is preparing them to recognize and value you when your paths cross. Your future spouse feels drawn toward developing their spiritual awareness and practices. Whatever their faith tradition or spiritual path, there's a deepening occurring, a more personal, intimate connection with the divine. This spiritual development isn't separate from their preparation for partnership with you. It's foundational to it. The divine is cultivating this awareness because the most sacred relationships are triangles, each partner connected not only to each other, but to the source that sustains them both. Type connected if you value this spiritual foundation for relationship. They feel an expanding capacity for healthy vulnerability, the ability to share their authentic self rather than projecting an image or hiding behind walls. This vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courageous openness. The divine is developing this quality because true intimacy requires this willingness to be fully seen, to risk being known in order to experience being truly loved. This capacity will create the emotional safety that allows your relationship to reach profound depths. Your future spouse feels moments of divine peace about the timing of significant relationships. Rather than anxiously forcing connections or clinging to relationships past their season, they're developing trust in divine orchestration. This peace isn't passive waiting, it's active preparation with restful confidence that what is meant for them won't miss them. This perspective is preparing them to recognize divine timing when your paths intersect. They feel a mysterious sense of being given exactly what they need for each season of growth. The divine is providing resources, insights, challenges, and supports tailored to their development. Nothing is random, everything is purposeful preparation. This experience of divine provision is cultivating the faith they'll bring into your relationship. Not naive optimism, but grounded trust in continued guidance for your shared journey. Type provided if you too have noticed this divine supply, meeting your needs in each season. Your future spouse feels drawn toward creating meaningful community and connections. They're investing in friendships and family relationships that nourish their soul and challenge their growth. These relationships aren't distractions from finding you. They're essential preparation. The divine knows that healthy partnerships don't exist in isolation but flourish within supportive community. The connections they're building now are creating the relational ecosystem that will eventually nurture your relationship too. They feel an expanding capacity for handling life's inevitable disappointments and setbacks with resilience. Rather than being defined by failures or consumed by perfectionism, they're developing the ability to learn, adapt, and continue forward. This resilience isn't hardening their heart, it's strengthening their spirit. The divine is cultivating this quality because every relationship faces challenges, and this resilience will serve the sustainability of your future together. Your future spouse feels moments of divine insight about the difference between superficial attraction and soul-level connection. Our culture often confuses the two, but your future spouse is being educated in discernment. They're learning to recognize what's merely appealing versus what's truly compatible with their core values and purpose. This discernment isn't making them overly selective. It's preparing them to recognize the unique resonance they'll feel with your spirit. Type discerning. If you value this ability to distinguish between surface connection and soul alignment, they feel a mysterious sense of being divinely repositioned, perhaps geographically, professionally, or socially. Doors may be closing in certain areas while opening in others. These shifts aren't random circumstance, they're sacred orchestration. The divine is arranging the coordinates of their life to intersect with yours at the appointed time, in the appointed place. This experience of divine guidance is preparing them to recognize sacred synchronicity when it appears. Your future spouse feels drawn toward developing qualities of faithfulness and integrity in all areas of life. They're becoming someone whose word can be trusted, whose commitments are honored, whose private choices align with their public values. This character development isn't happening for its own sake. It's divine preparation for the sacred trust of partnership. The foundation of your future relationship is being laid in these daily choices of integrity they're making now. They feel an expanding appreciation for the gift of time alone. Rather than filling every moment with distraction or noise, they're learning to value silence, reflection, and solitude. This appreciation isn't withdrawing from connection. It's developing the inner resources that make meaningful connection possible. The divine is cultivating this quality because the deepest relationships require individuals who bring depth rather than dependency to their partnership. Type depth if you value this quality of inner richness that comes from embracing rather than escaping solitude. Your future spouse feels moments of divine confirmation about the direction of their life path. These confirmations might come through opportunities that align with their values, through doors that open unexpectedly, through inner knowing that transcends logic. These aren't random coincidences. They're sacred guidance. The divine is directing their steps along the path that will eventually lead them to you, even when they can't yet see where it leads. They feel a mysterious sense of being divinely prepared. Through their unique experiences, both joyful and painful, nothing in their journey is wasted. Everything is being transformed into wisdom, compassion, strength, and insight. These experiences aren't random occurrences, they're sacred curriculum. The divine is developing precisely the qualities, perspectives, and capacities they'll need to build a meaningful, lasting relationship with you specifically. Your future spouse feels drawn toward cultivating peace in their inner world and their outer environment. They're learning to release anxiety, to process anger in healthy ways, to navigate conflict with wisdom rather than avoidance. This peace isn't passive acceptance of whatever happens. It's active creation of harmony through conscious choices. The divine is cultivating this quality because peace creates the atmosphere where love can flourish freely. Type peace if you value this quality of tranquility as the foundation for healthy relationship. They feel an expanding capacity for seeing beyond immediate circumstances to longer perspectives. Rather than being consumed by momentary challenges or pleasures, they're developing the ability to consider the broader arc of life's journey. This perspective isn't disconnecting them from the present, it's helping them make choices aligned with deeper values. The divine is cultivating this quality because sustainable love requires this ability to see beyond the moment to the meaning. Your future spouse feels moments of divine assurance that they are being prepared for a significant relationship. This assurance doesn't come from external validation, but from internal knowing, a quiet certainty that their development has purpose beyond themselves. These aren't random feelings, they're sacred confirmations. The divine is aligning their expectations with the reality of what's being prepared for them. A relationship with you that will call them to their highest expression of love. They feel a mysterious sense of becoming more comfortable with paradox and mystery, less needing to control outcomes or understand everything in advance. This comfort with the unknown isn't abandoning wisdom. It's embracing the limits of human understanding. The divine is cultivating this quality because the deepest love relationships contain beautiful mysteries that unfold gradually, requiring us to hold questions with as much reverence as answers. Type wonder if you value this quality of embracing mystery rather than demanding certainty in all things. Your future spouse feels drawn toward creating meaningful work that expresses their unique gifts and contributes value to others. This vocational development isn't separate from their preparation for partnership with you. It's integral to it. The divine is aligning their purpose with yours, creating the common ground where your lives will eventually converge in shared meaning and contribution. This sense of calling is creating the fertile soil where your relationship will eventually take root and flourish. They feel an expanding capacity for celebrating others' joy without comparison or envy. When they see others finding love or building relationships, they're developing the ability to genuinely rejoice rather than question their own timeline. This generosity of spirit isn't denying their own desires. It's releasing the scarcity mentality that fears others' blessings diminish their own. The divine is cultivating this quality because abundance consciousness creates the space for receiving their own blessing in divine timing. Your future spouse feels moments of divine perspective on what constitutes true compatibility. Beyond surface preferences or temporary attractions, they're developing discernment about the values, purposes, and character qualities that create sustainable connection. These insights aren't making them judgmental. They're preparing them to recognize genuine alignment when they meet you. The divine is educating their heart to value substance over appearance, depth over immediacy. Type substance if you value this quality of discernment in relationships. They feel a mysterious sense of becoming more authentic in all their interactions, less performing, more being genuinely present. This authenticity isn't selfish expression. It's courageous truth-telling with compassion. The divine is cultivating this quality because true intimacy requires this willingness to be real rather than impressive, to be known rather than merely admired. This growing authenticity is preparing them to create the emotional safety that will allow your relationship to reach profound depths. Your future spouse feels drawn toward developing their capacity for commitment, not just in romantic relationships, but in all areas of life. They're learning the sacred art of showing up consistently, of remaining faithful to their word, of investing for the long term rather than seeking immediate gratification. This commitment capacity isn't rigid inflexibility. It's purposeful perseverance. The divine is cultivating this quality because lasting love requires this foundation of trustworthy dedication. They feel an expanding awareness of how their past has shaped them, but doesn't define them. They're learning to honor their history without being limited by it, to extract the wisdom from difficult experiences without carrying the weight of them. This healing perspective isn't denying pain. It's transforming it into compassion and insight. The divine is cultivating this quality because wholeness creates the capacity for deeper connection than woundedness ever could. Type transformed if you value this quality of healing that turns pain into purpose. Beloved soul, as we conclude this divine message, remember that your future spouse's silent watching isn't passive observation, it's active preparation. They feel the magnetic pull of divine orchestration even when they don't understand it. They sense the sacred choreography aligning your paths even before they know your name. In this divine space between now and your meeting, both of you are being prepared in ways more perfect than you could arrange yourselves. Type receive one final time in the comments if you're opening your heart to this divine preparation, this sacred timing. Trust the process. Honor this season. Know that you are seen, known, and divinely guided toward the relationship prepared specifically for your soul's journey. This isn't about perfect people finding each other. It's about two divinely prepared individuals recognizing the sacred echo of their soul in another's eyes when divine timing brings them face to face. Until then, beloved, continue becoming, continue healing, continue growing, continue preparing. Your future spouse is doing the same, feeling the same divine guidance, experiencing the same sacred preparation. And when the moment divinely arrives for your paths to cross, you'll both recognize what heaven has known all along, that you were always meant to find each other in exactly the right way, at exactly the right time. Thank you for watching.